Wake up Australia. It's time for the Bona Report.
Here he is. Where are you this morning? Are you at home or are you still in far-flung locale?
No, I wasn't that far flung. I was flung, but not that far.
There you go.
Back home in the Bonafide podcast studio on this. It's raining where I am. Is it a little bit drizzly where you are?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't know because you can't see out the window here. So, there could be anything going on outside this window, Luke. I'm going to have to take your word for it.
It's a little bit drizzly where I am. Hey, listen, a topic that I wanted to talk to you and your listeners about this morning is something that's rapidly becoming the scourge of Australian streets. You and I touched on this when we first started this little experiment, and that is the drama that are e-bikes. Now, the Minister for War and Finance and I, we used to have a paper run. We used to deliver the Manly Daily, and we did it on our push bikes.
Right.
And we loved our push bikes. We didn't have to wear helmets. We rode on the road, and we delivered newspapers. And we look at these electric bikes now. You know, the ones with the brown seats and the big, thick back wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And they really do move along. And we think, God, I wish we'd had one of them. Wouldn't that have been fantastic? However, they're taking over the roads, and they are causing motorists massive problems. And the Transport Minister in Queensland, Brent Mickelberg, has said he's had enough. And he says that they need to make some big changes to how e-bikes are regulated. There is a current review going on in Queensland, and you know what? I think a lot of states will follow, especially if it's a popular vote-winning decision. He's saying either come up with some solutions or do we get rid of them altogether. These electric bikes go, as I say, very, very quickly. As I look out my studio window later when the sun comes up, I see kids going down to the local school. There's often two people on one bike, sometimes three kids in their uniforms. I know they're going to school, no helmets, and they are zooming down the road and they're up there with the traffic. If they break the law, if they go through a red light, if they scratch somebody's car, if they create an accident, no one knows who's riding these things because they're not registered. They don't have a number plate. They could be caught going through a red light with a camera, but you've got no idea who they are. They're not registered. Should they be? Kids can't afford registration, but should it be mandatory to have some sort of identification on these bikes so that you know who they are, where they are, and who's responsible for an accident? Now, I spoke on the podcast with James Ward. He's the content director for drive.com.au, and boy, does he have some strong feelings about this. Have a listen.
If it's powered, it needs to be registered. If people were riding Kawasaki's up and down the footpath, there'd be outrage. But because they're electric, you've got all these people, but they're great for the environment. No, they're not. You are going to get badly hurt. If you come off that because you hit a bump in the road, if somebody knocks you or whatever, you are going to get incredibly badly hurt. Why? What are you doing? You look like a moron.
There you go.
Whoa. So should e-bikes be banned, or should the owners be forced to register them? Not school kids can't afford registration, but should they at least have a number plate, an identifying number plate on these things? Are these bikes worrying you? Are they causing you grief on the road? I want to hear from you.
Yep.
Give us a call. And I tell you what, Phil, I'd like to hear from people who own them, who think that maybe this is all just a big hullabaloo about nothing. What's your experience? You ride a bike, don't you?
That's right. Well, motorbike, yeah, it's different. That's right. 131873 is our number, by the way. 131873. Well, we see cyclists also are the issue here as well, because you talk about e-bikes, and I know this specifically is what you're talking about, that aren't obeying the law, but that also goes to cyclists who, I've seen some real near misses as well, because the road rules don't seem to, to pertain to cyclists. So is the issue here, do you think, the problem of the speed of these, the fact that they're unregulated, or the fact that they're dangerous?
Well, if you're going down the hill that's outside my place, going down to the high school, if you're on a push bike, you can still get some very, very dangerous speed up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not just the electric bikes that can go very quickly, but I don't see anyone with a helmet.
Right.
I don't see anyone with that. I look at these kids going to school. One morning there were 3 on the bike, but there's often two.
Yeah.
And no one's wearing a helmet. And these things can go very, very quickly indeed. They're heavy, they're large. And I tell you another, maybe this isn't a problem, but it's just an observation. I had an emailer contact me and said, at my son's school, it really is a divide between the haves and the have-nots.
Sure.
Because these bikes cost about $3,000. And if you've got one, it's a sign that your family's got some money, and it's causing some problems. I don't know. Yeah,
I think it's emblematic of a bigger issue. I think you're right, but this is also a bigger issue. 131873, and it's not just this. It's also you've got your Uber bikes and people like that as well. It seems to be you playing dodgems when you're out on the road at the moment. Of course, the e-bikes are the issue, but it's also the fact that the Uber riders are riding them. A lot of them are looking on their phones to see where they're going.
Yeah.
And what you need, I think, then, if this is the case, and you've got yourself a registration number, then you're going to have to set up a place where you're not just bothering the cops by ringing to talk about this, but you've actually got somewhere where you can go where they can actually give you some recourse as well.
Well, you've just heard James Ward. He says they should be registered. And anything that's powered besides leg power should be registered or get rid of them altogether. You heard him, and that's the thoughts of the Transport Minister in Queensland, Brent Mickelberg. He's after feedback, and I tell you this now, the other states, they'll look very closely at what Queensland decides to do, and I wonder, could we see a ban on e-bikes unless they are registered?
Well, that's not a bad idea. Let's get to Sky, who's called through 131873 if you want to speak to Luke Bona. Morning, Sky. You're on with Luke.
Morning, Sky.
Yeah, Luke.
Good, thanks, buddy.
Good, mate. My uncle just said a while ago, I live at Rydalmere. I went to Queensland. I'm in an electric wheelchair, and I noticed in Queensland, electric wheelchairs and mobility scooters must have number plates.
Is that right? There you are. And a mobile scooter doesn't go anywhere near as quick as some of these things. So is that true? You've got to have a registration on a mobility
scooter. Yeah.
Yes, mobility scooter.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
And a wheelchair, and a power wheelchair.
Wow, isn't that amazing? But you know what? That doesn't go the speed or is as big a nuisance, I don't think, as you have with your electric scooters. Let's get to Phil in Wagga. Phil, you're on with Luke Bona. Go ahead, mate.
Yes, look, I'm 80 years of age, and me and a few mates, we ride 80 to 100 k's a week on e-bikes. We think they're the greatest things out, but we also believe they should have a number plate. They should be registered. And I personally would even go further and say we should have a licence.
A licence?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's right. That's a good idea.
A licence? And look, your average school kid can't afford registration, but surely they should have a number plate that you apply for so that they can be identified. My experience with these e-bikes, because they're all around me, because we live just a kilometre from a school. In fact, we live within the school speed zone. These bikes are everywhere. These kids have no idea what the road rules are, or they haven't been taught. When I used to ride my Mustang Dragster, Phil, back in the 70s, we were taught to give hand signals.
That's a good point. You haven't seen hand signals for ages with cyclists, have you?
We used to have to give hand signals. We used to have to stop at red lights. And you know who taught us? Our parents. Yeah. My dad taught me the road rules. And look, I used to ride from Eleanor to Manly.
Right.
But we stayed in the left lane and we obeyed the road rules. And for our own safety, we used to give hand signals to let the traffic know what we were doing. And we didn't wear helmets. There were no compulsory helmets back in those days.
Yep, 131873. And on the angle of parents as well, you've got Angela on the phone. Angela, you're on with Luke Bona. Go ahead.
Should they ban these things, Angela? What do you make of them?
I actually don't want them on the footpath whatsoever, because normal push bikes, you can get hit by that. If a child has a e-scooter, e-bike, e-scooter, say this is as bad as each other, the parents probably already bought it if they don't have the money, right? So the parents can pay for the regio. And who says the regio has to be expensive as a car? They should work out roughly what it costs for I don't know, what it costs if you go into registration, what's going to cost that paperwork to be processed, and give them a license plate. It might only cost $50 a year.
Mm.
We're not saying charge them the whole thing, but no, they should have a plate on. And by the time you try to read it, they're probably taken off anyway after they've hit you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't want them on I don't want them on the footpath or anything.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, Ange.
Phil, Phil, thank you, Ange. And Phil, you mentioned Uber, and I'm not picking on Uber, but
No.
Menu Log, all the food delivery services. You know where you and I used to work over at World Square, and there are so many restaurants there, and there are so many food delivery bikes.
Well, that's it, yeah.
And you're 100% correct with your observation. A lot of these food delivery bikes are powered, and they're looking at their phones, which are gaffer taped to the handlebars, because they're looking at where they're going, but they're also looking at it to see where their next job pickup is.
No lights,
and
no tail lights.
No, and no regard at all for pedestrians. That is my observation when you and I used to work over at World Square.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not even a disregard. It's just a complete lack of periphery vision or any idea that there's anybody else in front or around. And I've noticed that. And even then, you get to the traffic lights, they're coming at you from the opposite direction half the time. I face that. Hey, I tell you, there's another perspective that we haven't talked about too.
Yes.
Hold on a sec, because I'll get to Peter and get his one after this with Luke Bona at 4:45. Give us a call, 131873.
While people are sleeping peacefully in their apartment, a team from the Drain Man are down in the basement preparing to fix the leaking sewer drain inside their bedroom walls. Using Repiper's revolutionary relining system, they'll permanently seal any leaks on the inside without even disturbing them. That's the Drain Man difference. With Swedish technology delivered exclusively in Australia by the Drain Man, losing sleep from leaking sewer drains is a thing of the past. Call 1-800-843-372.
The Drain Man.
Lotto is an estimated $6 million this Saturday. Grab an entry in-store, online or on the Lot app now. Wouldn't it be nice?
Who's giving up to $5,000 off your new kitchen?
Nobody but Nobby.
This month only, visit Australia's largest kitchen showrooms and save up to $5,000. Nobby Kitchens have a free in-home design service with on-the-spot quotes and a no-obligation fixed-price contract that covers all trades with no hidden extras. Then we'll take up to $5,000 off at
Nobody but Nobby.
Nobby Kitchens, Pymble, Castle Hill, Tarrant Point and Belrose.
For unbeatable value and old-fashioned service you can trust, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, where every day is sale day. They're family-owned and they offer great prices on the tough D-Max and stylish MUX. DL 14862, 603 Church Street, North Parramatta.
Hey, can you hear this?
Yep, we're rolling.
Oh, good. Because this microphone and the speakers you're listening to are made with the Metals Mind in New South Wales. So are smartwatches, medical scanners, electric cars, and everyone's phone. These metals help unlock modern tech, lower emissions, and a better future. While here at the mine, we're operating under strict government regulations. Because in New South Wales, we mine responsibly for today and tomorrow.
Get into Stratco for huge savings at the Stratco Super Saturday sale event this Saturday. We'll have stacks of offers on a huge range of products, including a massive 20% off Stratco garages. Get the perfect garage for all your outdoor storage needs. Get 20% off custom-made Stratco Sanctuary patios. Plus save $400 on a Stratco Umbra awning shed. And get 20% off Stratco ambient blinds. Terms and conditions apply. But it's only this Saturday. However you bring the dream, Stratco will bring the how-to.
Getting sick doesn't just slow you down. It means missing out on the things that matter. Key Immune Defense and Energy Formula is traditionally used in Chinese herbal medicine to enhance immunity, specially formulated with high-potency ingredients to support immune health and general well-being year-round, no matter the season. Key Immune Defense and Energy Formula. Available now at Chemist Warehouse and leading pharmacies. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Wake Up Australia on 2GB. Got a gurgle? 100% no digging guarantee from the Drain Man. Call us. We'll fix it fast. 1-800.
The Drain Man.
Luke Bona joins us on Thursday mornings at this time, 12 minutes to 5. We're talking e-bikes. A couple of texts as well that have come in. Judy says, by the way, Luke, I've driven along Captain Cook Drive. And there are 10 to 20 e-bikes on the bike track in a bunch, some of them without helmet. If you're riding a normal bike on the road, you can be fine without a helmet. That's very scary. And let me get one more for you here as well before I get to the phone. This came in from Gary, who says the idiots delivering food in the city have got no regard for the rules. Just a matter of time before they kill or seriously injure someone. But with that in mind, we've got Peter on the line, and here's another perspective for you. Peter, good morning. You're on with Luke Bona.
Yeah, g'day, Peter. Tell me your story.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much for bringing this to a head. I've been adamant about this for so long. I live on the northern beaches of Sydney. My wife got knocked over not by an e-bike, but by a push bike on a footpath. Now, she ended up with a brace on the leg for 8 weeks with a fractured kneecap. Now, if she'd have been hit by an e-bike, they're massive, these things, and they travel at speed, she would have been killed. She's a frail little woman. I'm 75. She's 72. Now, first of all, bikes shouldn't be on footpaths either. I know they go on the road. I see them on the road. I respect them on the road. But a number of things need to be done. Yes, I agree. These e-bikes need to be registered. The parents need to be responsible. The kids can't be responsible. The parents need to be responsible. They need to be registered. We need someone that we can have a go at. Now, if the kids are going to ride e-bikes, and as you guys have said, they should have some training, some understanding. And look, you don't ride a motorbike on the footpath. These are literally like motorbikes.
That's
How
it.
can you ride a motorbike on a footpath? I mean, it's ridiculous.
And yeah, the other thing, Peter, is the training for motorbikes is really, really strict. But you're right. I mean, essentially, these are like riding a motorbike, aren't they? They've got the power as well.
Correct. And I just can't understand. Look, I'm embedded in the government with New South Wales. There's a girl called Natalie Wood. She's a transport magnet. She's the deputy. I'll be confronting her and fronting her about this. I'm over it. I've got all the documentation. I'm an accountant tax agent living in Sydney. I'm on my way to Avalon Airport from Melbourne to get back to Sydney today. Let me tell you this. I'm not giving up on this because it has to be done. And congratulations to Queensland. I believe there's something in Victoria happening with e-bikes. But e-scooters, e-bikes, look, you can't. The footpaths are for people. They are not for e-bikes. They're not for push bikes.
Hang on, you just said it. What are they called? They're called footpaths.
Footpath, that's exactly right. Peter, thank you so much for your call, mate, and hopefully
I'm sorry
wife's
about
okay.
his wife.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that
terrible. Then? And there you are. So should you be licensed to ride an e-bike? I mean, because they do get up to speed. They are heavy. And do you need a special license? Is this going too far? I mean, are we living in a nanny state? I'm just putting it out there, playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a middle ground here somewhere? I mean, if you've got to wear a helmet, and if you're not wearing a helmet, you don't know who that rider is because there's no number plate.
Yeah.
You know, when you go across the Harbour Bridge, they've got cameras now that can tell whether you're using your mobile phone and if you're wearing a seatbelt. And they know who you are because they know your number plate.
But let me throw another one, Ben, though. The ones that you can get that you can hire. So it wouldn't matter if you've got a number plate on it because you've got to track down who's using it. Here's something we didn't think of. What about bus drivers? Let's get to Robert, who's on the phone as well. How does this affect you in your work, Robert?
You go, Phil. What that gentleman just said a minute ago, Peter, is 100% correct. I drive a bus in Sydney City, between the city, Woolloomooloo. You go up to King's Cross during the day, it's a nightmare. You can't see them. They come on the inside, up the outside. You've got blind spots in buses. They don't care either. And now I spoke to a policeman at King's Cross, and he said, we book them because they've got no licence or they've got no registration. They throw the fines in the bin. They don't care. He said, we can't do anything about it. They're a nightmare. As I said, get these politicians that come up and come for a drive with me every day and see what I've got to put up with. I've got to put up with traffic as it is. I've got to put up with people walk across the road in front of you, all these things. Come for a drive with me every day. Now I've got these nightmare people. And they disregard the rules of the road. They disregard the law. They don't give a damn. I'm starting work now. A lot of them don't even have lights on their bike. You can't even see them. And if you hit them, you've got to live with that for the rest of your life. Even though they're at fault, you've got to live with it.
That's exactly right, isn't it? You know.
And I tell you what, Peter, it's another topic for another morning, Phil.
Yeah.
The plight of bus drivers. My two brothers-in-law drive buses, one for the government, one for forest coaches. And some of the things that they have to put up with. A driver is there to get you from A to B safely. They shouldn't have to worry about problem passengers, people smoking, assaults, fare evasion. Back in the day, Phil, we used to have bus conductors that ran the buses, didn't we? Yeah, the cost of putting a conductor on a train, a light rail, or a bus would be astronomical. But it's another topic for another morning.
Well,
I really feel for bus drivers. I really do.
Let's see if we can get another couple of calls. We're going to cover about 3 minutes left, but Kai's on the phone. Kai, you're on with Luke Bona. Go ahead, mate.
Morning, Phil and Luke. I spend a lot of time in the CBD, and there are a lot of delivery drivers on these bikes that hire them from one or two companies that are based usually out of Ultimo. If you look at the back of these delivery boxes, they've got advertising all over the back. And if the government went through those companies and went through their inventory and did an audit on whether those bikes were legal, whether they were accelerating only up to 5 k's an hour, that would fix 80% of the problems, in my opinion. So that could be one direct approach to, ignoring the drivers whatsoever, because they're just all getting them from the same place.
Yeah. He's absolutely right. And we've got one more as well. Patrick's on the phone too, Luke. In Belgium, they have number plates. Is that right, Patrick?
Good morning, Luke. Yeah, I come from Belgium in the 1960s. We had number plates in the 1960s, and we had footpaths, bicycle paths, and then the road. They're all registered. I've still got my licence. I've kept it as a kid. We had to have it. It's compulsory. So why wasn't it happening here?
That's it. I think he makes a good point, and I think you make a good point too, Luke. Number plates, that's a good place to start.
At least a number plate, so that if they go through a red light, or if they injure somebody or damage somebody's property, and there's a camera, and everyone's got dash cams these days, you can see the number plate, you know who that person was. And they're held accountable.
Andrew said, "How is it illegal for food delivery drivers to use a phone?" Well, it's like driving with a phone too, isn't it? So there's the other thing too. So I think we've definitely touched on a nerve here that needs to be investigated.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in Queensland. Well done to the Transport Minister Brett Mickelberg, and the other states will be watching very closely to see what solution Queensland comes up with.
That's exactly right, Luke, and well done bringing up the topic here, because a lot of people, thank you so much for your contribution to this on the text on the phone. Go on, give it a plug.
Okay, it's the Bonafide podcast, Luke Bona. It drops twice a week. Have a listen, share it, tell folks all about it. And just remember this, I don't tell people what to think. I just like to give you something to think about.
There you go, Luke Bona, back with us next week with the Bona Report, coming up to 4 minutes to 5. And we've got your news update coming up, and then we'll have a look at the overnight news from around the world.